Everyone, please say it 3 times together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Once again, let me wish everyone a very good evening. Before we start, I would like to do the same wish as we do every day. May this meditation session also bring you at least a little peace, little happiness for your life, right? May be able to develop in the Dhamma path at least a bit. With that thought, we are going to start today's meditation session. So, for the Vipassana meditators, the old students, they only have another 3 weeks to go, right? After another 3 Fridays, Vipassana meditation is going to be over. So as wise practitioners, determine to so get the best use of this remaining time and try your best to develop in this Vipassana practice as much as possible. And try to come out of as much as negativities that you can, right? So within the upcoming 2-3 Fridays, so please work ardently. So for your own benefit first, and then for the benefit of all. Vipassana meditators, they are so observing the sensations, right? So all students, they are observing the sensations. So on the whole body, from top to bottom, and bottom to top. I understand that it is easier to maintain the understanding of impermanence. So on the sensations which don't last for a long time, right? I mean, for the sensations, so which only stay for a short period of time. But sometimes it is very hard to maintain the patience, right? The patience and the understanding of and at the same time it is hard to face so those severe sensations sometimes, so with the understanding of impermanence. So but always whenever you encounter a hard sensation on your body, let's say a pain which stays for a considerable period of time, for an example, so you encounter a pain. Shivana, can you check? So, thank you. So, let's say there is a sensation like pain, right? You encounter pain somewhere, and you observe and tell yourself that this is impermanent for once, right? But at the same time, so when you encounter it for the second time, you encounter it again, right? And then at such times, so you might feel like, oh, this sensation is not going to go away, right? So it is going to last so very long, so longer. But somehow you have to understand, even though how difficult that sensation is, it doesn't matter. It has the same characteristic. What is the characteristic? It arose to pass away, right? So very patiently with that understanding, so please keep on observing on that heart sensation too, right? Then gradually, when you observe those difficult sensations with the understanding of impermanence, little by little, those sensations will start to dissolve and finally will completely disappear, right? So you have to understand that. And whenever you encounter those difficult sensations, long-lasting sensations, they deepen your understanding about impermanence. At the same time, it deepens your ability. It deepens your ability to stay with such kind of difficult sensations. Not only that, when it comes to your day-to-day life, you will see a change. Earlier, there were certain incidents, there were certain kinds of incidents. When those kinds of incidents happen in your life, you became very emotional. You broke down, right? You lamented, you cried, right? So your courage completely went away from you. But right now, after these kinds of experiences, you will see that when you go to your day-to-day life, when these kinds of difficult situations arise in your life, similar difficult situations arise in your life, at such times you feel that you are facing those situations easily. You don't break down, right? You don't lament, right? So you don't feel frustrated, right? So you face those situations too with a lot of confidence and then without breaking down, right? So with courage. So it didn't happen automatically. Inside, what happened was while you were observing the heart sensations, which lasted for a longer period of time. So at that time, you were developing the understanding about impermanence, right? And at the same time, when inside your mind, you let your your attachment, you let your attachment to go from that hard sensation. Then when you were developing the balance of mind on that hard sensation, then gradually, at that very time, something else happened underneath. So inside, at the depth of your mind, at the depth of your mind, what is what happened was, inside you, the habitual emotions that you had earlier, right, that you were used to, arouse when difficult situations arise. So their quantity, their level, it started to go down. Can you understand? Right? So for an example, let's say you were observing a difficult burning sensation on your body for a longer period of time when you are practicing vipassana meditation. Simultaneously, we have to understand. So these kinds of burning sensations arose in your life when you had situations to get angry like that, right? So in life, sometimes you become furious, right? At such times also, you experience these kinds of sensations. But since you were focusing on the reason that you got angry, you didn't realize it. But actually, at that time too, in your body, those sensations arose. Got it? But right now, during the meditation time, when you're observing when you're observing the arising and passing away of those sensations, then what happens is that habitual pattern of reacting, it changes, right? Can you understand? That habitual pattern of reacting, it changes. So unknowingly, when so after that experience, when you go to the outside world, so this new new change, it stays with you. When you deal with the other things, this new change is the one which comes to help you in dealing with those situations. Did you understand? Then, even though a very similar situation to arouse fury happen in your life, now at this moment you realize you are not reacting to that situation with the same anger, right? So sometimes the meditators who are the new meditators who are practicing breathing meditation, they will feel like this is Greek. So when you are practicing vipassana, you will see sometimes certain teachings related to vipassana, they are a little bit deeper than the breathing meditation. So somehow now you understand how your reaction changed, right? In two similar situations, right? In the past, the situation which caused fury inside you, right? It happens in this very present time after you encountered such kind of a sensation on your body, right? So when you're observing that sensation on your body, you kept on observing it with the understanding of impermanence. And then gradually you saw it changed and changed and changed and changed, and then finally it passed away. Now this data stays inside your mind. Can you understand? When a similar kind of thing happens in the present, you realize that you are not reacting in the same way like you were used to in the past. Why? So that the intake of the pattern of taking that data inside, it has changed, right? Your data has got modified. Now, so you you encounter the similar situation at the present in a different way. Why? Because now you understand whenever the very same sensation starts to arise inside your body because of the outside incident, at such times you realize inside your mind, right? Because of your understanding, you realize, oh, these sensations are also impermanent change, right? So then what happens is your reaction to the outside happening, so which the happening, so which was similar to the past happening. So when you react to that, it's different. It's different, right? I think Vipassana meditators understood what I said, right? So Vipassana students, they will be asked to practice ardently, and so keep on observing the sensations from top to bottom, bottom to top, wherever you like. So from whichever the part that you like, you can begin, right? If you like to start from bottom to top, please start from bottom to top, right? Keep observing the sensations from bottom to top. If you like to observe sensations from top to bottom, somehow, so if you like so please keep on observing sensations from top to bottom, part by part, pitch by pitch. Please keep practicing very ardently, very ardently. And so you only have another 2-3 weeks to go. Make use of this remaining time and come out of as much as negativities that you do have inside you, and try to um, get rid of as much as negativities, and try to go closer to the final goal, at least with one tiny step, right? So please keep on practicing. The new students, they are kindly requested to practice breathing meditation. So you are so kindly requested to observe the breath, right? When the breath is coming in, please be fully aware. When the breath is going out, please be fully aware. When the breath is coming in, so it don't observe it. So when after after the touch of so when it touch the end of your nostrils, let it go inside, right? Don't observe the breath beyond that, right? Let it come, and then let it touch the end of your nostril, right? And let it go inside. When it comes back, it will touch the very same place, the end of your nostrils, and will start going outside. When it is coming in, please be aware that it is coming in. When it is going out, please be fully aware that it is going out. If it is long, please be aware that it is long. If it is short, please be aware that it is short. If it is gross or soft, so let it be so. Keep on being aware. Right now, I'm feeling a soft breath or a gross breath, right? So keep on observing the breath accordingly as it is, and don't breathe in forcibly. Don't breathe out forcibly. Let it happen naturally. So using breath, there are two kinds of techniques that we practice. One is the exercise, one is the meditation. What you are practicing is the meditation. So you are supposed to let the breath naturally come in, and so you have to let it naturally go out, right? So keep on observing the breath as it is, and try to develop the one-pointedness of your mind. Concentrate. Try to develop your concentration, and try to develop calmness and inner peace, right? So please work ardently. Before we start every day, I teach you something for your life. Today too, before we start, I want to teach you a very small thing for your life, so that your meditation would become better, and you could build up a better life in the future, right? So today I'm going to teach you in brief another very important factor that you have to develop in your life as meditators, right? So there are three, right? So so today I'm going to teach you about being an inspiration to the others, right? Before advising the others. So there are so many people who advise the others, but they don't have the same qualities inside. So such kind of practices are I don't see that's bad. So somehow advising is so good, but it is better if you become an inspiration, if you become an example of the very thing that you advise the others, right? So that's a very important thing. So you know the crab, right? So according to the legends, I mean fables, so the crab mother always asks the baby crab to follow it, and it asks the baby crab to go straight, not to go across, right? But what always happens is it follows its mother's example. The crab cannot always go straight; it always has to go across, right? So the baby crab does the same. So you should not let others to be a baby crab. Instead, you have to go straight while asking others to go straight, right? Okay. So Buddha says, Attanameva patamang patirupe nivesai. So atanya manusasaya patijaggeya pandit. But what it means is you have to be an example to the others. And then after that, you should advise the other people. Right? So that's what Buddha said. Right. This is a very important quality that Buddha developed in his life too. Right? So Buddha developed this quality was called as Yathavadi Tathakari, Tathavadi Yathakari. Right? So what he said, he did it. What he did, he always said it as it is. Right? When you when you become an inspiration to the others, I mean, when you lead by example, then it allows so many changes inside your family and at the same time inside the society, right? So let me be quick and let you know about um, uh, various changes that happen when you lead by example, being an example. So first thing which happens is, so action always builds the credibility, right? So whenever you do something, then the other people also believe that this is doable because this person is doing it, right? So it promotes credibility. And at the same time, so it is more influential than words. When you become an example, so when you lead by your example, then so your action, your very action, so it becomes right more influential than words. At the same time, it also inspires trust. So the other people, they will believe you more, right? When you become an example, then they are bound to trust you. Will they trust you? Yes. Then at the same time, it shows integrity. It shows the integrity of a person. Integrity means in certain people, the actions are different than the words. But here, so it shows your integrity to the society, right? When you become an example, then it shows that your actions don't surpass your words and your words don't surpass your actions, right? And then at the same time, it makes the advice tangible. When you become an example, so it makes the advice your advice tangible. So when the others see you do something as you say, then they think, oh, this is a thing that I can know, that I also can do, right? Go, then they'll do it, and then it reduces resistance to advice. Sometimes when you give an advice, certain people are about to resist. All are not wise and all are not liking advice. So there are certain people who will be resilient. They'll say, no, I'm not going to do that. But when you are exemplary, when they see that you are getting benefited from that, right, then they are bound to follow you, right? Their resistance will become lesser. And then, so it encourages accountability. And at the same time, people follow always leaders, not the lectures, right? So people always follow the leaders, not the lectures. So you have to be a leader when you advise the others. If you are not doing it, you are just lecturing this person, but you are not a leader. You are not leading, right? At the same time, it fosters a growth mindset, right? For when you become an example, it fosters a growth mindset. And at the same time, it aligns advice with experience. right? It aligns advice with experience. So whenever you give the advice to, it would become very practical. Why? You have done it. You have experienced it. So you know. So your advice will become uh, better advice. I mean, better advice. So therefore, as a meditator, this is a quality that we all have to practice. Not only we advise the others, we have to lead by and as an example, right? We have to be an example of the very advices that we teach, right? So then that's something that I wanted to teach you. So for you to practice as meditators. So please adapt this into your day-to-day life, and by that way, so try to create a peaceful environment around you and convert that peace into your meditation. And with that peace, please develop concentration. Uh, so use that concentration to develop wisdom and attain real peace, real happiness, nibbana. With those thoughts, let's start today's meditation. Everyone, please keep your back straight, neck straight, head straight. Please keep your right palm on your left palm. And please let your whole body to relax. Let your whole mind to relax and calm down. First, I'm going to pay our sincere respect and gratitude towards Buddha. And after that, we are going to start today's meditation, silent meditation. Please concentrate. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Namo tase bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhase. Itimiso bhagava araham samma sambuddho Vijjācarana sampanno sungato lokavido Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Satta deva manussanam Buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo Sangditingo akaliko Ehi pasiko opanaiko Pachatang veditabo Vinyuhiti Supanipangno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujupanimangno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipangno bhagavato savaka sangho Sami panipangno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang chattari purisa yugani Ate purisa puggala Ese bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuniyo pahuniyo Dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyaketang lokasati. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind. Everyone, please start your meditation. If you are practicing breathing meditation as a newcomer or as a student who joined recently, please keep doing so. Please practice the first step of breathing meditation. And then the old students, they are practicing Vipassana meditation. So once again, I would kindly remind them, I would like to kindly remind them to practice Vipassana meditation very ardently. We don't have a long time to practice it. We only have 2, 3 weeks left to practice it. So during the remaining time, try to get the best maximum benefits out of it. So please practice very ardently. Whatever the meditation practice that you are practicing, may it be very, very successful. Everyone, please start your meditation right now. Now, if the new students want, they can change their posture, but they can relax their legs if they are paining. But please keep the eyes closed. We are going to practice loving kindness meditation in brief. Calm down. First, let's share our loving kindness with ourselves first, with you. Please think like this and share your loving kindness with you. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards yourself first. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards your dear parents, towards your dear teachers, towards your dear relatives and friends. May my dear mother, may my dear father, may my dear teachers, relatives and friends be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be really peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards your dear parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards the neutral people, the people, those who are not your friends. At the same time, those who are not your enemies, the people at the center, the people in the middle, the neutral people. Let's spread our loving kindness towards them. May all the neutral people be well. May all the neutral people be happy. May all the neutral people be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your loving kindness towards all the neutral people. Neutral people. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards our enemies. So let's think about the people that you don't like or the people who don't like you. So let's spread our loving kindness towards all of them. Let go of the grudges. If you keep the grudges, you are the one who is going to suffer. You're the first victim of your grudges. So let go of your grudges and spread your sincere loving kindness towards the enemies. May my enemies be well. May my enemies be happy. May my enemies be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness, honest loving kindness towards your enemies, towards your enemies. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Not only human beings. Here we are going to think about all the animals, birds, fish, and reptiles, and all the other visible and invisible beings. Without any discrimination, understanding that all beings like to live comfortably and happily. Understanding that all beings don't like discomfort. Let's spread our sincere loving kindness towards all beings. And thank. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards all the beings. All the beings. Bhavato Sabba Mangalam Rakanto Sabba Devatam Sabba Buddhanubhavi Sabba Dhammanubhavi Sabba Sanghanubhavi Sada Sutti Bhavang Tutti Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Now, everyone very calmly, please open your eyes. Let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body to relax. Now, please join your palms together and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, hope all of you had a very good meditation time. So it's not easy. We always have to fight with us, right? So I told you at the beginning of this year, that there are 5 hindrances, right? There are 5 enemies of meditation and life. So can you remember them? Number 1, Sreshwaya, addiction to sensual pleasure. Number 2, Mr. Kevin.
Restlessness?
Yeah, that's number 4.
Laziness?
Laziness, number 3. Mr. Tim.
I'm sorry.
That's very fine, Mr. So, Cole, can you remember? Right. Namal, all students, Shivanna, the slot and open number 3. So, aversion. Aversion is number 2. Mr. Rina, number 3. Slot and open. Number 4. Mr. Nidu, you are not here. So, Mr. Kevin? Yes?
Restlessness?
Yes, restlessness of the mind. Ram Bhaiya also not here, was also not here. Right, number 5. Is there anyone who can talk about, say about number 5? Doubt. Very nice. Good job. I am proud of the students. Right. Okay. So, so encountering them and so working with them, it's not easy. It's not easy. You have to fight hard. You have to fight again and again. Laziness comes. Then, so succumbing to the laziness is easy. But fighting against that, it's not easy. Succumbing to aversion is easy. Getting suppressed from aversion is easy. But fighting against that to maintain loving kindness, that's difficult. Right? And so addicting to sensual pleasure, that's easy. But coming out of the addiction to sensual pleasure, it's hard. And then, stresslessness. So wandering nature of the mind. So to maintain the same pattern, it's easy. To come out of it and making it concentrated, that's hard. And doubts, so giving way to doubts, that's easy. To come out of doubts with the right understanding, that's difficult, right? So you have to fight. Whenever, whenever you lost, sometimes your mind wanders, or sometimes frustrating things happen in life, in meditation. At that time, you should not feel disheartened. Work hard. Still, you have this precious human life, you have time, so keep on working hard, very ardent. Don't feel frustrated because of any setback, right? So you have to fight. And at the same time, so that's for all the students. And then at the same time, I thought, all the students couldn't so some of the Vipassana students might not have understood what I said at the beginning. So let me give you a simple example. So let's say you have enough water to fill a bottle, right? You have a, a certain amount of water to fill a bottle. Later on, what you do is you bring a barrel. You bring a huge barrel. Then when you put that very same water to the barrel, what happens? So will it fill the whole barrel? No. That's what happens. So inside you when you practice Vipassana, right? So earlier when you were encountering very difficult sensations, right? I mean, very difficult situations. Then at such times, when you encountered them, right? Since you had a very small amount of tools to encounter them, so you broke down. Yeah, you became frustrated. You failed. But now the amount of tools that you have, so they have become the number of them has increased. Your patience has increased. Your sensitivity has increased. So your ability to tolerate that has increased, right? Your understanding has increased about everything. So you encounter the very same situation back again with many more tools, right? Then that's why you can easily encounter them now than before. You did before, correct? Right. So now I think you might have understood what I said at the beginning. So then the new meditators, they might have got an idea about what I said. Right. Nowadays we are learning about the 10 perfections. So at the beginning when I teach you something for you to adapt to your day-to-day life. And at the same time, at the end, I teach you something to adapt into your spiritual practice, right? So nowadays I'm teaching about the 10 perfections. 10 perfections. So we learned about the first perfection, second perfection, and third perfection, right? Shivanna, what is the first one? Dana, or generosity, right? Practicing generosity. What is the second one, Ramhaya? Sila. Very nice. What is it? Practicing niceness, right? Right. Being moral, practicing morality. And then, Mr. Kevin, third one?
Renunciation.
Renunciation. Very nice. Letting go. The art of letting go. So if we don't practice dana or generosity, it is very hard to practice the second one, right? Second one means sila, morality, right? Why? So we should have the ability to let go. So to practice seal, right? Because there are so many discomforts that you are bound to face when you practice seal, right? So then, so when you practice both of them, so generosity and then at the same time morality, then you gain the ability to practice the um, the renunciation from negativities, nekkhamma, letting go, the art of letting go. Then when you practice renunciation, so when you practice letting go, then it helps you to develop the fourth perfection. What is the fourth perfection? Is
Courage.
no.
Wisdom.
Very nice. Good job. Good job, Sivana. Number four, wisdom. Panya. Panya parami. We are going to talk about Panya parami. Very nice. Okay. So Panya parami. Right. Please write down wisdom. The perfection called wisdom. So at your home, have you experienced, if you have a pet, have you experienced this? So you bring a new uh, cupboard to your house, which has a glass. Um, so which has a mirror in it. I don't know whether you have such kind of cupboards at your house. Then so in such kind of cupboards, they have big mirrors, right? So then what happens is, so uh, so you have a pet. You have a pet. You and the pet go towards that mirror to see your reflection. When both of you see both of your reflection on the on the mirror, so you just so see it, but you don't shout or do anything. But so the dog sees its own reflection and starts to bark. Have you experienced something like this? Then what happened? So what was the change? So why the dog barked and why I didn't so shout or do something like that? See my reflection on the mirror. Because human beings have something else. So which all the animals don't have. They have intelligence, but they don't have so wisdom, right? Human beings have wisdom inside, right? So that's why we didn't shout to do such kind of thing, seeing your own reflection on the mirror, right? Uh, wisdom is, but wisdom is not a birthright. So it is there. We have to develop it. So step by step, little by little. So it doesn't develop at once. So you have to follow the steps. I already taught you how to develop wisdom. So at the beginning, so I think during the first months of this year, I taught you about that. Can you remember the three kinds of wisdoms that I taught you? Three kinds of wisdoms.
Experiential.
Very nice. Very nice. So experiential wisdom is the last. Yes.
It's intellectual.
Yes, intellectual wisdom. So then, first one, hearsay. Very nice. So wisdom. So we have to develop wisdom in three ways. Number one, hearsay. You listen to someone or you read somewhere, and then you realize, oh, this is a good thing. That's number one. First, we have to develop the wisdom of hearsay. And then, so very nice, Mr. Tim. Second one, intellectual wisdom. Not only you read or listen to someone, then you keeping that inside your mind. What we do is we start to think, right, Mr. Rina? We start to think deeper, joining truth by truth, truth with the truth, right? Then what happens? So that wisdom, hearsay wisdom, deepens and it goes deeper. And then you are going to get the intellectual wisdom. Then what is the third wisdom, Naman? Experiential wisdom. So when you practice meditation and when you observe the world mindfully, what you get is the experiential wisdom. Experiential wisdom. So these are three ways how you have to develop wisdom. These are three kinds of wisdoms that we need to develop. For that, so thinking is very important. Buddha said once, Na chintayanto puriso, in Pali in those days language, Na chintayanto puriso, visesamadigacchati. That means the person who doesn't think specially won't achieve anything special in life. Right? So you have to think deep. Right? So na chintyanto puriso, visesamadigacchati. Another time Buddha said, Panya naranang ratana. So in the world, there are various kinds of stones, but among all the stones, gem is the most valuable one. Just like that, for the human beings, the gem is wisdom. Right? So we have developed wisdom, panya. So so when we practice wisdom, we have to think beyond the apparent level. We should develop the ability to think beyond the apparent level. So let me give you let me teach you a small story. Right? Every day I teach stories and I'm addicted to stories. Right? So various kinds of people are addicted to various kinds of stuff, but I'm addicted to tell stories. So, right. This is a story from India, a folk tale. One old gentleman, village headman, village headman. So in Western culture, there were sheriffs, right? Sheriffs. So for village headman, right? So village headman. So there was an old village headman. His wife is the one who was managing everything. I mean, his house and so everything. She is the one who managed everything. But later on, since she got old, she passed away. When she passed away, he thought he should give the opportunity to one of his daughter-in-laws, daughters-in-law, to take care of the. He thought that he should select one of his wife's daughter-in-law, and then I should give the opportunity to her to manage everything. He had 4 sons, so for sure he had 4 daughter-in-laws. So this old gentleman, old village headman, thought of something so that he can figure out who is the wisest. He asked one day he asked all his 4 daughters-in-law to come, and then he took them to the storage area. Then he took some grains and 4 equal amounts, So he took 4 equal amounts of grain. So actually, paddy, it means rice. So when it is not, grinded, we call it paddy, right? And then he gave all those portions, he distributed all those portions among the 4 daughters-in-law. And he told them, I'm going for a pilgrimage, right? I told you last week that when someone passed the age 60, it is the South Asian tradition to practice more spirituality and less lay practice. So he wanted to go for a pilgrimage. He said, I will go for a pilgrimage. And when I come, so it will take at least 1 year. So when you when I come back, you have to preserve all these paddy portions of paddy with you. He gave the equal portions to the daughters-in-law, and then he left. First daughter-in-law, she thought, I think this old man is crazy. This guy old guy is crazy because he's old, so he cannot think well. So I will throw this away. And next time when he shows up, who knows whether he would show up or not. If he showed up, if he would show up, I will give him some new grain, portion of paddy, and then I will say, oh, this is the one which you give me. He threw it away. Second daughter-in-law thought, I think this is a sacred something. I should, when I eat this, I will get a lot of blessings, right? So what I should do is I should cook this and eat, so I would get a lot of blessings. So she cooked it and ate to get a lot of good luck. It's gone. Third daughter-in-law, she is the one who was eyeing for the keys of the storage. So she was always expecting and doing things to obtain this. So what she did was she covered it so well and then kept it at a very secret place. Then fourth daughter-in-law, she thought, she took it and went to the paddy field. And she chose one particular area, right? So where there was no rice cultivation was not done. So she spread all the paddy in that area. When they grew, when they grew as plants, rice plants, then they took all those grains, and then what she did was she spread them again. Finally, when it comes to the end of the year, so the whole within a year we do it for 2 times, right? So we cultivate the paddy field for 2 times. So finally, at the end of the year, so the whole paddy field was filled with rice plants, right? Rice plants. So then, after a year, the old village headman came. Then she asked all her daughters-in-law to bring the portions of rice, portions of grain that he gave them. Then at that time, the first daughter-in-law brought new a new portion of grain, and then he said, "Don't try to deceive me. I have been cultivating rice for a long period of time. Don't try to deceive me." So he threw away that portion. And then when he asked the second daughter-in-law, she said, "Oh, I thought it's for blessings. I cooked it and ate." She said the truth. Third daughter-in-law ran away to the secret place where she kept all the grain, and she took that portion and said, "I am the only one who kept it intact. So I am the most suitable person to get the keys." Then he asked the fourth daughter-in-law, the youngest one, where her portion is. Then she accompanied his so so father-in-law to the paddy field and showed the paddy field, which is filled with rice plants and which had a lot of paddy on the plants. She is the one who got it at the end. Why? Because she was the wisest. She was the wisest. So this is wisdom. So seeing, the ability to see things so beyond the apparent level, right? So the ability to see things beyond the apparent level is the wisdom. Right now you might have understood. Then the next one. So there are two kinds of wisdoms as categories. First wisdom is laukika prajna, that means the general wisdom. Second wisdom is lokottara prajna, the ultimate wisdom. Right? Both wisdoms are equally important. Laukika prajna or general wisdom, we need it to learn general things. To live the general life, we need this laukika prajna or general wisdom. That means to learn all kinds of subjects like science, maths, and then after that, so various kinds of other, so languages and other kinds of subjects, to learn them and to live in the general, so to lead the general life, we need laukika panya or the general wisdom. Second one is the ultimate wisdom, which is needed to understand the dharma. Right? To understand dharma, we need lokottara panya, the ultimate wisdom. So first you have developed the general wisdom, and so with that, gradually you have developed the ultimate wisdom too. Right? It's not easy. So so if it is easy, then all the Vipassana students, they have been practicing this meditation for almost 6 months, close to 6 months. They would have attained the enlightenment by now. It is not happening. Right. So then we have to understand why, so we cannot develop wisdom easily. Then we have to understand the reasons, and then as we have to encounter them, and we have to so take control, right? So these are the factors so uh, which prevents you from developing wisdom. As I mentioned, the 5 enemies of meditation: addiction to sensual pleasure, aversion, laziness, wandering mind, doubt. These 5 things, when you have, the more you do have them, the more, the lesser wisdom you will have, right? Then at the same time, postponing things all the time. Postponing things all the time. If someone postpones things all the time, then that person is bound to postpone the time of developing wisdom, right? So because of postponing too, people won't develop wisdom. So this is applicable for both kinds of wisdom, rather both kinds of wisdoms. So general wisdom and ultimate wisdom. And then then addiction to live with crowds, right? I mean, certain people have cliques, right? So a lot of cliques, so many friends. And if you always, if you're addicted to, so spend a lot of time with, so with crowds, then because of that too, you won't get the ability to develop this, right? Because it wastes the time. But it doesn't mean you should not have friends, but always partying and this and that. So, so that's that makes you lose so many developments in your life, right? And at the same time, vanity, right? Vanity. If you have vanity, oh, I know everything. Nobody, so there is no one who knows like me. If someone thinks like that, then that person is not going to develop wisdom. And then clumsy mind. So restless, I mean, so the mind which is restless, right? The clumsy mind, which is not one pointed. If you have such kind of mind, then you are not going to develop wisdom. It will become an obstacle to develop wisdom. And then, so not associating the wise people, not associating the wise people. It also prevents you from developing wisdom, right? And then low self-esteem, low self-esteem. If you think, oh, wisdom only can be developed by great people, I'm not a great person. Thinking so if you don't try, if you have such kind of low self-esteem, then you are not going to develop wisdom, right? So we have, so if we have a healthy body and healthy mind, then so you and if you invest time, so invest time in thinking about dharma and the other general subjects, then you're bound to develop wisdom. But what you need is one pointedness on the objective, right? Right. Then wrong concepts. If someone has wrong concepts, wrong way of thinking, it also prevents so wisdom. So it prevents you from developing wisdom. And then if you have emotional deficiency, do you know emotional deficiency? That means if you don't feel empathy, right? There are certain people who don't feel empathy. They are born narcissistic, right? So if you have such kind of thoughts, that is the final one. If you have such kind of negative qualities, then it for such kind of people, it is hard to develop this. Then another thing that I want to let you know, sometimes you might think the robbers who rob things, using very sharp tricks, they have wisdom. No, that's not wisdom, right? So they are, so it is intelligence, but it is also a wrong intelligence. And at the same time, so such kind of, so intelligence is, so it, that intelligence is also built on five negative so qualities, right? One is greed. So then second one is so wrong perspective. And then third one is so delusion. And then so focusing on so the nature of focusing on the thoughts and the thoughts that we develop around that focused thought, vitakka and vichara. I already told you about those things. So somehow, so that's what the Buddha taught in Abhidhamma. So then we have to understand that's wrong kinds of intelligence, but they are not developed, they are not using a wisdom there. Right? Got it? Okay. Then, uh, so then the most important part. Then how can we develop wisdom? What are the things, if we do, that will help us to develop wisdom? Right? Let's learn. First one is, so we need to have a healthy body and healthy mind. So that's number one, right? Then next one is cleanliness. That is very important, right? If you are a person who keeps the whole room unclean, your mind later on, sooner or later, your mind is going to become the same, right? So cleanliness of your home is very important if you want to develop wisdom, right? Then at the same time, so good health, maintaining the good health, right? Maintaining the good health. And then pass positive energy, pass good karmas also. We need past good karmas too, right? And then at the same time, lacking of the bad karmas that prevent you from deep thinking. There are certain people, even though how much they try, certain deeper things they cannot understand. Why? In the past, so they stop the other people from learning. Now it has that bad karma has come to you. You can't think deep, right? Then, learning the dharma and thinking openly with an open mind, thinking about the dharma, learning the dharma and openly thinking about the dharma, and then uh, engaging in activities in an organized manner, right? When you do something, you should not do it unorganized, right? For the sake of doing it. No. When you do something, you have to engage in that activity in an organized way. So I'm talking about both the ways that you can develop both kinds of wisdom, general wisdom and ultimate wisdom, both. Okay. Then listening to the dharma, right? And then at the same time teaching the dharma, what I am doing, right? Still you cannot do that. So teaching the dharma and discussion, wholesome, peaceful discussion with the wise people, right? So, meditators, all of you can discuss. Right? I know some of you discuss. So, discuss together. So it is important, right? And then associating wise people. That is also important. To develop wisdom, association of wise people is also important, right? And not associating foolish people, right? So, not associating foolish people, that also helps to develop wisdom, right? So, if you associate foolish people, what will happen? Can you remember the story about that hermit? So, who met the woman with a goat and so some drugs and her. Right? So this is not the time to talk about all that. I will teach you it later on. Right? So if you associate unwise people, you're go. Then, right, um, developing concentration. Developing concentration, it is also important. And then practicing vipassana. So, practicing vipassana, we have to reduce the level of our negativities. The same thing that I taught at the beginning, right? So you should bring barrels, you should create barrels instead of keeping bottles. right? So so that your capacity would be bigger, right? Then at the same time, so taking healthy food, that is also important. So so these things are important. Um, so in developing these practices help us to develop wisdom. What are the kinds of wisdoms? Rohit, Rohit, right? Right. First one, general wisdom. Mr. Ram Bhaiya, ultimate wisdom. Very nice. So then, after developing wisdom, what should we do? Right? There are things that we have to do too. Right? First one is when you develop wisdom, not keeping it with yourself, you have to share that with the other people. Right? Let's say you cannot give public dhamma talks, but whenever it is needed, you have to share it with your family members. Right? So let's say your grandma passed away. Your parents are crying. You go to them and so you console them saying, everybody that comes to this world, they come with the nature of impermanence. They are bound, let them be how much powerful they are, how much rich they are, it doesn't matter. They are bound to pass away. So let's let them go and let's share loving kindness with them. Let's share our good karmas with them. So you can say, right? So your child is crying after breaking his toe. You go to them and say, it had the nature of so breaking and it got broken. What to do? Let's buy a new one, right? This was to break when we bought it from the shop, right? So don't worry. This is how the life is. Child will understand. So right dharma. So you should not do it right now. So later on, when you develop, you can do that. And then share words of dharma with others. Yes. So help to print dharma books and help teachers to teach. So those are things that you can do to promulgate dharma. So and introducing the technique, right, to your friends and relatives, right. So those are things so that we have to do after developing wisdom, right? After developing wisdom. So wisdom is very important. Both wisdoms are equally important. General wisdom, right? We have to develop it so that we can live a comfortable life in this very world, right? So, and at the same time, we have to develop ultimate wisdom so that we can come out of all the suffering and all the negativities, and so that we can develop all the positivities within and finally attain real peace, real happiness, purification of mind, nibbana. Nibbana. So now we are going to conclude. I sincerely wish that may all of you be able to develop that deep wisdom within, deep ultimate wisdom within. And now everyone please think. Today, by practicing this noble non-sectarian meditation technique, we accumulated a lot of positive energy. By the power of all this positive energy, may all our troubles be away. May all the good things happen in our lives. May we be able to live our lives with with right understanding and wisdom. May we be able to come out of all the negativities. May we be able to develop all the positivities. And finally, may all of us be able to attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Everyone, please concentrate. අභිවාදන සීලිස නිච්ඡං වද්දා පචායිනෝ චත්තාරෝ ධම්මා වඩ්ඩන්ති ආයුවන්නෝ සුඛං බලං ආයුරාරෝග්‍ය සංපatti සග්ග සංපatti මේවච අතෝ නිබ්බාන සංපatti ඉමිනාති samijjatu. May you all be well. May you all be happy. May you all be very, very peaceful. Good night to everyone. See you again on next Friday. May all the good happen to you. Take rest. Take rest. New students, please stay. I have to give you one leaflet, one chart. So the others, if you have questions, you can stay. If not, you can leave. Good night, Miss Kirin.
Good night, Bhante. Thank you.
Good night. Miss Rita, good night. Miss Rita, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Is Mr. Howard there?